Ben is a first-time caller out of Idaho, not Navajo, but Idaho. Ben, welcome to the show. Get it off your chest.
Hi, Jesse. So I've been listening to you for probably a year now, and a lot of the things you say I agree with and stuff, but I have some questions, and I'm trying to understand some things.
Okay.
So with that, the first thing is you talk a lot about forgiving your mother.
Right.
And I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to forgive my mother for.
And if you have no reason to forgive her, why are you trying to figure it out?
Well, you talk about it all the time, like like that we need to forgive our mothers to move on from
and return to the fathers.
whatever.
But most people hate their mothers. Your mother was perfect.
Well, no mother is perfect.
How about yours? Was she perfect?
I feel like I love my mother a lot.
Was she perfect?
No, she wasn't perfect. But
Did she
I
do
love her a
anything
lot. She's
wrong
been
while you were
really-
growing up?
What'd you say?
Did she do anything wrong while you were growing up?
Well, everybody sins.
How about your mother?
I don't have any real like big thoughts about her doing things wrong to
Did your
me
mother
or
do
our
anything
family.
wrong while you were growing up?
I'm sure everyone has done something wrong.
How about
I
your
just
mother?
don't.
Did your mother do anything wrong while you were growing up?
Sure.
What? What did she do wrong?
I don't know. I don't ever think on those things.
You don't think about the wrong things she did?
No, I'm not angry or frustrated or anything. I love my mother.
And so she did nothing wrong?
Yeah, I guess so.
You can't think of one thing that your mother did wrong while you were growing up.
Okay, I guess the first thing that comes to mind is she really wouldn't let me buy a motorcycle when I was younger.
And what's the second thing?
The second thing, I don't know. I don't really have a good memory, but I know my mom loves
Your memory
the
is
Lord,
messed
and-
up.
What'd you say?
Your memory is screwed up.
Yeah, I've had a lot of seizures in my life.
Oh, so you
But-
can't remember anything?
Well, not really. I mean, I know everyone has sinned in their lives, but I don't have anything I hold against my mother.
How about your father?
Everyone-
Your father was perfect too?
No, definitely.
Oh,
not.
you remember the father, huh? What did the father do wrong?
Well, I love my dad, and I still do love my dad, but he has gone far astray from the Lord, and he was married
this is
to
a
my
mama's
mother
boy.
for 30
He what?
For 30 years, he was married to my mother, and then he started cheating on her, and then they got divorced. My mother did not want to get divorced, even though he was cheating on her, and then he's basically following after the love of money and the lust of women now.
And why did he cheat on your mother?
I think because he did not like my mother's way of following after God and
Who told you
the
that?
Lord, and
So your father cheated on your mother because you were following God. And that makes sense to you.
yeah, that makes sense because my dad does not like God. at
Who
all.
told you that he cheated on your mama because you were following God?
Well, that's kind of just the deduction I've made myself.
What did he do to you?
To me, he started towards the end. Like for most of the time of growing up, I love my father a lot, and he was a great dad. But towards the end, he started lying about things, and he started to show that he loves money, he loves power.
What did he do to
always-
you?
To me, he lied to me about several things.
Like what?
Like, well, we all built a business together, and he just started to like try to force me to do things in the business that I didn't want to do, and tried to to lie to me about stuff like that.
So your mama was perfect and your daddy was imperfect.
Well, as I said, no one's perfect. Everyone has sinned. Everyone has gone astray.
Your mama
from the
was
Lord.
was your mama perfect?
No, no one has. No one in this world is perfect.
Are you a Christian?
Absolutely. I love the
So
Lord.
was your mama perfect?
No.
And have you gone and forgiven your father?
Yeah, I absolutely forgive my stepfather. I pray for him all
You
the
say you
time.
forgive what?
and-
Your stepfather?
No, just my father. I don't have a stepfather or anything.
Have you gone and forgiven your father?
I haven't told him I forgive him, but I told him
Beta.
I pray for him all the time.
But why have you? What you praying for him for? You haven't forgiven. You need to be praying for yourself.
Well, what am I supposed to be praying for?
That you are a hypocrite.
I'm a hypocrite?
Yeah.
What am I hypocritical about, though?
How you going to
I'm
pray
trying to
for your
understand this.
father when you have not forgiven? You're praying to Satan. You're pretending to be a Christian. You just like your mama.
So praying for my father is bad?
Right, because you're praying to Satan. You're not praying to God. You're a hypocrite. You have not forgiven your father. You're judgmental. Satan is your daddy.
Well, I don't think my father is following God. But
And you're
I
not
pray for
either.
his salvation.
You're not following God either.
No?
No.
Huh. I kind of don't understand that. Can you explain that to me?
How are you following God and judging your father?
Well, I mean, it's easy as you have talked about, like with Democrats, you can see the evil within them and how they are following after Satan, and I can see that in my father also.
How are you following God and judging your father? It sounds like you're following your mama.
No, I think I
Have you noticed you just like your mama?
Yeah.
How did you become like your mama?
Well, I was definitely a lot more like my father growing up, and then I ran into a lot of I lived on my own for a little while, and then I ran into a lot of medical issues and almost died multiple times now. And my mom was the one who took me in and helped me through those things, and through that, I grew very close to the Lord. And
No, you were very close to mama.
yeah.
And that's why you became like mama. Now you're judging your daddy in the same way your mama's judging your daddy. You're just like your mama. Satan is your daddy and your mama's daddy.
So even though it's my father that is the one that cheated on my mother?
Right. If you were married to your mama, you'd cheat too.
I don't think so.
Oh, you would. You become like her and you don't realize it. Your mama is your God, not the true God.
Okay.
You've judged your daddy in the same way your mama is judging him, and that's why you identify with mama, and that's why you have not gone and forgiven your father, and that's why you're pretending to be a Christian, and you're pretending to be praying for your father. How are you going to pray for your father when you're judging your father? That doesn't make sense, man.
Okay, so what's the next step that I can become a Christian then?
You got to forgive your mother for turning you away from your father. Forgive your father for being weak.
So should I follow after my father in his lust of money and women and stuff?
Do you think you should do that?
No.
Well, why are you asking such a dumb question?
Because you're pretty much, it sounds like you're telling me I should be following my father in his footsteps and not my mother.
I said you
her
should
love for
forgive
God.
your father. I didn't say you should follow your father.
Okay, well, I believe I have forgiven my father.
But you
and
haven't.
That's why I love for him.
You
and
told
pray
me
for
you
his
have
salvation.
not forgiven your father. You have not gone to your father and apologized to him for judging him.
Okay. So you need to physically go to him? You can't spiritually in your thoughts go to him?
No, you can't. That's the way your mama is doing it. You're doing it exactly like your mama. Your mama has not forgiven him, and neither have you. So they say, oh, I forgive him in my heart. Just lying.
Huh. Okay. Well, here's another question. So I was talking just a minute ago about the medical problems I have, and that's why I live with my mom now. And I did live on my own for
How
a
old
few
are you?
years.
How old are you?
I'm 31.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Uh huh. What's your question
Well,
for
what's
me?
amazing about that?
You 31, living with mama. What's your question for
Well,
me?
I'm connected to a machine for multiple hours every other day to
Right.
keep me alive.
Right. What's your question for me?
Well, my question is in your mind, should I not be living with my mom?
No, I mean, that's not for me to decide. I'm not in your situation. It's best you know and do what's right for yourself.
Okay. Okay.
So you moved out on your own and then you start using drugs or something?
No, I was telling you how I had a lot of seizures, and the doctors gave me medicine for the seizures that slowed them down, but it ended up killing my kidneys.
Oh,
and
my
destroying
God.
A lot of other organs.
Amazing. This is why you can't be listening to those stupid doctors. You have to think.
I've learned that now.
You have to think for yourself. They didn't make you. They didn't heal you. They are killing you.
Yep. Yeah, I know that now. But yeah, so anyway, so every other day I'm going to a dialysis center to get treatment and stuff, along with other medical problems, and it just makes it really hard to live on your own. Most people on dialysis don't even have jobs because it's just really hard
Right.
to
You're right about
live.
that. That's amazing, man. I've heard this
in
story.
that kind of situation, is it wrong to be living with your mother?
It really up to you, Ben, because you're there. I want people. Honestly, I want people to start thinking for themselves. Because I'm not with you. God is with you. Every day God is with you, right? And you need to start thinking for yourself. Don't let me or anyone else make your decisions. When I was growing up, I didn't have people thinking for me. I don't know of people thinking for others. This is all new to me. And you listen to these experts, you listen to so-called experts, listen to these people with these degrees and things. Those people are evil. They have no idea what they're talking about. They're just using you to make money and to gain power for themselves, so-called power, right? I want people to go back to thinking for themselves. You're smarter than the people that you're listening to.
Okay. Well, going back to my father real quick, because I'm still trying to understand that. Like, even though I haven't directly gone to him and say, I forgive you for what you did, but in my heart, I feel like I've forgiven him completely.
You haven't.
That's not enough?
No, because if you really forgave him, you would go and tell him, hold on, Ben. Do not hang up. Hold on, man. Hold on, man. Ben, the two of us shall want no more. I have found what I've been looking for. Ben is a first-time caller out of Idaho, not Navajo, but Idaho. And he is on dialysis, living with his mother. And he's a Christian. He says his mother's a Christian. And he want to know about forgiving his father. He think that he's done it in his heart. And he want to know, should he go to his father and forgive? Am I right about that, Ben?
Yeah, kind of, but I'm just not understanding it because my father and I were very close for the first 20 years of my life. And we were very close. And then after that, he destroyed our family by cheating on my mother. And I'm wondering why do I need to have like a relationship with my earthly father? Why can't I just have a relationship with my heavenly father and go straight to God?
How can you love God when you don't love your own father on earth?
I do love my father. As I said, I pray for his salvation. But
you can't pray for his salvation. You're lying. You don't love your earthly father. You have not gone to him and forgiven him.
Well, as I said, I haven't physically done that.
Why not? If you loved him, you would do that. Why haven't you done it?
Well, first he's in another state, and when you're on dialysis, you can't really travel like that.
Why do you call him up and tell him what you want?
So you're saying I should just call him up and say, I forgive you?
No, you should call him up and apologize for hating him. You don't have a right to judge him.
No, I definitely don't hate him, but anyone can see good versus evil.
But what does that have to do with, right, but you don't see that you're evil.
I don't see that I'm evil?
Right. And you don't see that your mama is evil. I now understand, though, you can't forgive your mother because if you do, she's going to put you out. You and your dialysis machine going out of there. You're going to leave. And so you gotta pretend you love her because she'll throw you out if you told her the truth about herself.
What's the truth about her that I'm missing?
And Satan is her daddy.
That what?
Satan is her daddy.
I don't see that.
I don't blame you. Don't worry about seeing that for right now if you need her. You can't see it because you need your mama.
God says you know them by their works, and her works are not evil or satanic or whatever.
Well, why haven't she forgiven your father?
I have forgiven my father.
No, you have. I said, why haven't she or you, nor you, neither one of you have forgiven him? You have not told your father, you have not apologized to your father for judging him.
Well, I'm not sure.
No, you haven't.
Okay, well, I guess it was good talking to you.
So let me ask Ben, when your father cheated on your mother, were you an adult or a teenager?
I was right about 18 years old.
So what did that have to do with you?
What did that have to do with me?
Yeah.
Well, it destroyed our family. We had a great family.
But you were
that.
18 years old. You didn't need no family at that time. You need to be out on your own. He didn't cheat on you. He cheated on your mother, according to you. What did that have to do with you?
Well, I love my family because...
What did cheating on your mama have to do with you? He didn't cheat on you.
Well, I love my mother also, and he hurt my mother.
But what did that have to do with you?
Well, if someone killed someone that you love, what does that have to do with you?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Okay. And he didn't kill your mama. Your mama killed herself by hating him.
Okay, I don't think she ever hated him.
She didn't love him. She doesn't love him.
Well, she has said that if he would come back to her, then she would remarry him.
But she hasn't forgiven him. Ben, let me tell you this. I'm sorry about your dialysis thing. I understand that a lot of people have it now because they listen to these doctors. I have a couple of family members who are on dialysis, and they're still, they're in their around your age and a little older. One of them, at least, is a little older. One of them developed the dialysis issue because they went to a doctor years ago for back pain or something, and the doctor just wrote them a prescription. And whenever the one bottle of prescription run out, they could go to the pharmacist and get a refill. So over the years, the doctor never told them, hey, stop taking the pills or come back for a follow-up so I can take you off. And they destroyed their kidneys or whatever, liver or whatever that happened. And now they're on dialysis and they can't work because they listened to the stupid doctor. They didn't think for themselves.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. The doctors, the pharmaceutical industry is just out for money, and they definitely don't care about people. They care about money.
But if the people were to think for themselves, the doctors will have to care because they would need to earn a living, and they know that a person who thinks for him or herself will not allow themselves to be used for that doctor to make a living.
Yeah, but when you're younger, it's kind of like you think, oh, we should trust the doctor.
I understand.
That's what everyone tells you, and then you get in trouble.
I understand. But listen, in the Bible, does it say if you have problem, anger with someone, go to them and forgive them?
Yeah.
And then where did you come up with this idea that you could just do it in your heart?
Well, I don't know. It's just I feel like you got to forgive them in your heart first before you can forgive them physically.
If God said, go and forgive, don't you think you should be following those instructions or come up with your own ideas or somebody else's ideas?
You know, I will. I think I will go and maybe call my dad in a day or two and tell him I forgive him.
No, you need to apologize for resenting him. You don't have a right to judge your father or anyone. You know better.
Oh.
What gives you the right to judge your father or your mother? It doesn't give you a right to do that.
Well,
and you're judging your father with your mother's judgment. Your father did not cheat on you. It was he and your mother who were having the issues, not you and your father. He didn't cheat on you. And you have identified with your mother, and now you feel like your father did it to you. He did not do it to you.
But when I asked him for help when I was going through all my medical issues, he said, no, I'm not going to help you out at all. And then I asked my mom for help, and she said, sure, I'll help you out.
Why should he help you? You're just like your mama.
Well,
you treat him the same way your mama treat him. Why should he help you?
We loved each other for a long time.
I'm sorry?
He should help me because we loved each other for a long time.
But you didn't love him after you found out he and your mother were having issues. You became like your mother and treated him the same way your mother treated him.
No, as I said, I still love him and I pray for his salvation.
You can't pray for nobody's salvation, man. Satan is your daddy.
Okay, well, it's good talking with you, Jesse.
So listen, Ben, you sound like a nice guy. I understand your condition, right? But you need to forgive. You don't have a right to hate your father. And you're not going to be able to love God until you love your father. You can't pray for your father's salvation. You need your own salvation. You don't have it yet because you have not forgiven. You're playing God.
Okay. All right. I'll keep praying about that then.
No, you don't need to pray for it. You need to see that you're holding judgment against your father. And how are you going to love God?
That he will show me that?
I'm sorry?
I can't pray to God that he will show me that?
Yeah, ask him to show you. That's right. He'll show you.
Okay, then I'll pray for that.
You don't see right now that you're wrong for judging your father?
Well, I don't know. You're asking tough questions. I'm not sure I know the answers to them.
You can't see right now that you're judging your father.
Well, yes, I'm judging him, and just like we can see a person from their works, that if their works are evil, then that person is evil.
And so now that you can see you're judging your father, do you have a right to judge him?
Do I have a right to judge him? I don't know.
You don't know if you have a right to judge your father?
Well, I believe I have the right to see what is wrong and what is right, and I believe what he is doing is wrong.
Do you have a right to judge your father?
Do I have a right to judge my father?
No. Do you have a right to judge your father?
Well, I don't know.
You do know.
I do know, okay.
Do you have a right to judge your father?
I guess the answer is no.
Do you have a right, not I guess, do you have a right to judge your father?
No.
Then why are you judging him? Why don't you go and forgive him? You don't need to pray for that. You already see that.
Okay, well, I guess the next step for me is to go forgive him then.
And why you guess? If you say you're a Christian, it's obvious it's the right thing to do, and not I guess that's what I should do.
Well, I'm saying I guess because I'm not going to go on just what you're saying in this conversation right now. I'm going to pray about it.
But what is there to pray about, man? You see you're judging your father. You need to forgive him.
Okay. All right. Well, as I say, it was good talking to you, Jesse. I think I'm done talking for now.
Ben, let me tell you this. I recommend you do my silent prayer video. Give that a try.
Okay, well, what's in it?
You'll see. Do it. You'll see. God will help you.
Okay, I'll take a look at it. Thank you, Jesse.
And I don't want you to be. I'm not telling you to be honest with your mama, all right? Because I don't want her to put you out.
Oh, she won't do that. I'm actually going to have her listen to this phone call.
I bet you if you were honest with her about the way she really is, you going out. You and that machine. She'd be like, boy, get your out of here.
Well, let's find out. I'll have her listen to this phone call that I had with you, and if she puts me out, I'll give you another call.
Well, she's not going to put you out by this phone call. She's going to put you out if you were honest with her about how she is.
And what would be being honest with her? What does that mean?
You need to smoke on that. You need pray about it.
I will.
Ben, it's a joy hearing from you, man. I wish you well.
Thank you, Jesse. You too.
Call me again.
All right. Bye.
All right. I wish you well, man.
You too. Bye.
Because you're so unsure about yourself. I want you to know yourself. You really need to know yourself, buddy.
Okay. All right. Bye, Jesse.
All right. Bye. He ready to go. Let me out of here. Let me out of here.